because across the board, and now again, you're not going to convince your kid with this because what's given to them, the word problem given to them in school out of necessity is people they don't care about. Tom had this problem. I don't care about Tom. Okay. They don't understand that the purpose of these contrived word problems is to teach them how to solve their own problems and in life in general, in math and in life in general. But they don't believe at that time, because they're being tortured with math, they don't believe that in fact they have real questions and problems that they need to be able to think through. And even though today you can give this problem to ChatGPT, today you can give this to AI and get an answer, which might be correct. You can't be sure, by the way, because AI will make stuff up. So the truth is, they need the purpose of math, the purpose of algebra, the entire purpose of teaching math. In fact, everything we teach in school is for the purpose of teaching kids how to think, how to solve problems. That's true for every subject in every school all the time. The chemistry teacher, the physics teacher, the English teacher, the math teacher, they are all trying to teach kids how to think, how to reason through solving problems. But the kids don't see that because it's presented this contrived way. So here is an actual problem. And if you delve into it, you'll find that every kid has something that they're passionate about, something they're excited about. With the boys or kids who are into sports, it's the best because they constantly like to talk about how much they know about statistics. Okay. In fact, also another story, right? My own son, who hated math, who refused to learn math, when he was playing fantasy football with his own money, he bought a book on on statistics. He bought an entire book on statistics to discover how to learn how to make effective bets on his fantasy football team. You can't make this up. Okay. So my point is that the entire purpose of math is to teach people, kids, all of us, how to reason through problems, and everything in life requires this kind of reasoning. But the way it's presented in school as math makes it completely divorced to anything related to them. So here we go. So here's the actual problem of that my teenage son, at that time was 12 or 13, presented to me. And so let's go through the solution. So, and by the way, this is a question that I've even given to very successful CEOs and a CEO and chairman of a bank who, trust me, he will not get this wrong, but he also did not know how to do this directly. He would do it by trial and error on a spreadsheet. Okay, so this is actually, when you learn how to do this with algebra, it's a trivial problem once you understand the algebra. And let's go through this. So as I was saying, we're starting with this word program. In the meantime, let's take a look at this actual problem provided by an actual teen, my own son, many years ago. And I still remember the numbers exactly. So he comes down the stairs and says, Dad, I'm selling a player on my Madden game. The Madden game is an NFL, it's a sports game. It's on Xbox, NFL, it's football. And I'm selling a player because I want to buy a different player. Now, the game charges a 10% commission. And I remember saying, like, I don't know why they charge a 10% commission. It's not real money, right? But these games are meant to be realistic. So the game charges a 10% commission on the sale. So that if I sell a player for 100K, he only gets 90K. So that's 10%. So now his question is, drum roll, I remember the numbers exactly. So basically, the new player I want to buy is $109,000. So I need to get $109,000 after the fees. The question is, drum roll, from the kid who hated math and doesn't like word problems, that says, what is the lowest price that I can sell my player such that after the 10% fee, I still get $109,000? You gotta love this, okay? To take this word problem, describe it with most people, most adults, most kids, even if they have the problem, will not be able to solve. I know my friend who can solve this, but not necessarily algebraically. He will solve this problem, okay? Especially if it relates to a business problem, okay? Changes problems instead of selling a player, it changes problem to I'm selling a building, and there are percentage fees on selling that building. What is the lowest price? Now, this is across the board. If you're on Amazon, if you're selling anything, You have to figure out what your costs are, and often those costs are in terms of percentages. And you have to figure out how much money you need in order to figure out the lowest price. You want to sell this at the lowest price that you can to be competitive in the market. So you want to sell this thing at the lowest price, but you want to make sure you're not losing money after the fees. You have to figure out what is the smallest margin that you can accept. That's just putting this problem in a different sense.